Okay, so let's be real. Everyone is talking about AI. It's everywhere. But we're going to go a little deeper than just the hype. We're going to ask the really critical question. How do you move from just using AI tools to actually building a powerful, transformative business strategy? One that creates a real, lasting competitive advantage.
And that brings us to a tough question, but one you've got to ask. Are all those AI initiatives in your organization just producing some flashy demos and a few small wins here and there? Or are they fundamentally changing the way you do business? Are you just playing with a very expensive toy? Or are you actually building a new engine for growth?
This slide really gets to the heart of it. See, on the left, you've got what so many companies are doing right now. They're using AI as a tactical tool. And sure, they get some impressive demos and some isolated gains. But on the right, that's where the real power is. That's turning AI into a fundamental business driver that gives you measurable outcomes and a truly sustainable advantage. And that leap is exactly what we're going to break down today.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why we need to move past those flashy demos. Then we'll get into the strategic mindset shift that's required. We'll get practical on how to architect a roadmap, then cover the absolutely crucial human-AI partnership. After that, we'll talk about why this is about strategy, not just tech. And finally, we'll look at the ultimate prize, that true competitive advantage.
All right, let's dive right in. Part 1, moving beyond those impressive demos and facing the problem with what we call tactical AI.
You know how it goes. Someone sees a really cool AI tool for, let's say, the marketing team. They deploy it, and boom, they see a nice little productivity bump in that one department. And that feels like a win. But, and this is a big but, it's an isolated gain. It's an island. It doesn't actually transform the entire business or give you a lasting edge because it's not connected to any bigger company-wide vision.
So if that tactical approach is the trap, how do you get out of it? Well, it takes a strategic AI shift. And this isn't about finding better tools, it's about a completely new way of thinking about the problem.
We're talking about something called strategic AI architecture. And all that really means is you stop treating AI as, an IT project. Instead, it becomes this massive enterprise-wide mission that touches absolutely everything. Your company culture, your daily processes, your entire tech stack. It's a project for the whole business, not just one department.
And see, when you start thinking that big, the whole goal shifts. You're no longer just chasing these little temporary boosts in efficiency. You're aiming for the real grand prize, building a deep, sustainable, competitive advantage that your competitors just can't copy easily.
Okay, that all sounds great, right? But how do you, actually do it? Well, it all starts with architecting a super clear roadmap. Think of it as the blueprint for your entire transformation.
This whole strategic journey really boils down to 4 key phases. First, you have to assess your organization's readiness, figure out where you're starting from. Then, you develop that roadmap. After that, you build up the capabilities you need in your people and your processes. And finally, you establish strong governance to make sure the whole thing stays on the rails.
Now, when we say readiness, what does that actually mean? It's so easy to think it's just about your tech, but that's a tiny piece of the puzzle. A real assessment goes way deeper. It looks at your culture. Are your people actually open to this kind of change? It looks at your processes. Are they mature enough to handle AI? And, crucially, it measures your ability to manage change. Can you actually guide your team through this huge transition?
So once you know where you stand, the roadmap becomes your guide. And the one word you have to burn into your brain here is alignment. Every single thing you do with AI has to be directly tied to a core business goal. You're not just doing AI for the sake of AI, you're using it to drive revenue, to slash costs, to win in the market.
And how do you prove that alignment to the people who write the checks? Simple. 3 little letters, ROI. Seriously, building a solid, dollar-specific business case isn't just a boring financial exercise. It's how you speak the language of the C-suite. It translates your big vision into cold, hard numbers that executives and investors can actually understand and get excited about.
All right, now for what might be the most overlooked but most important piece of this whole puzzle, the human-AI partnership. This is all about focusing on your people and your processes. This quote just nails it. It reframes the whole conversation. The goal here is not replacement. It's collaboration. It's about finding those sweet spots where AI can amplify what your people are already good at, making them faster, smarter, more creative, and unlocking totally new ways to create value. So building that partnership means taking real, concrete steps. It means looking at your teams and identifying the skills they're going to need in this new world. It means designing training programs to close those gaps. And, just as important, it means talking openly and honestly with your employees about their concerns, because they will have them.
So you've got the right people and the right tech, you're all set, right? Well, not quite. You have to make sure this incredibly powerful technology is used responsibly. And that means focusing on strategy and not just the tech, especially when we talk about governance and risk.
Look, you can't just unleash AI and cross your fingers. Having a robust governance framework is completely non-negotiable. We're talking about having clear rules for data privacy, standards for transparency, making sure you're compliant, thinking through the ethics, and having systems in place to monitor everything and make sure it's all working the way it's supposed to. The payoff for doing this work is massive. And don't think of this as red tape that slows you down. It's the exact opposite. It's what enables you to move fast. Managing risk proactively doesn't just protect your reputation. It gives the whole organization the confidence it needs to go big with AI without being afraid.
Okay, so when you put all of these pieces together, the right roadmap, the right people, the right governance, that's when you unlock the whole point of this journey. You get the ultimate payoff, a real defensible competitive advantage. And what you get is a total transformation. You stop thinking about small operational improvements and you start aiming for market leadership. You shift from just optimizing your internal stuff to creating truly differentiated value that nobody else has. You stop just adopting AI and you start evolving with it.
And this is where it gets really, really fun. A strategic approach lets you see the white space in your market, those untapped opportunities nobody else is looking at. It allows you to use AI not just to do your current business better, but to invent entirely new business models, to create things that just weren't even possible before.
Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. This is the destination. Not just keeping up, but leading. Not just playing the game, but setting the rules for the future of your entire industry.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought to take back to your team. Take a hard look at everything you're doing with this technology and ask yourselves this question. Are we just adopting AI as another tool, or are we truly architecting our entire business to evolve with it? Because the answer to that question is going to define your future.